Back on the New Twist Show, J. Chris, Miss West, Hector Intern is in here, and we have the author, Evan Johnson, here to talk about his new book,
Hey.
When It's Too Late to Tell. And before we actually start talking about the actual book itself, let's talk about you a little bit.
Okay.
How long have you been writing?
I've been writing since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I've been writing, going to grade school, writing in a little notebook and everything.
Right.
Decided to take it, professionally, see where I can go with it maybe 3-4 years ago. It's actually when my second novel, When It's Too Late to Tell, one talking about right now, is one that I hope, people go out and get and everything. It's basically a novel about faith and relationships.
Okay.
So I noticing you guys talk a lot about relationships on the show and everything. So the ups and downs of relationships.
Definitely.
But in this book, I give a realistic point of view of how relationships go. I don't sugarcoat anything. I give you upfront honesty. If this person is wrong in what they're doing, then they're wrong in what they're doing, and I say it in the book. Right. But it's a fiction book. It's a book that's going to give you a story. That. Hopefully a good story. A lot of people seem to like it because they can relate to the characters on there. So,
Right. And that, dude, just do us a favor and, adjust your mic. We can talk right into the mic.
Got you.
Hear you better.
Is that better?
That's perfect.
That's great right there.
Cool.
We have on the show to let people know. I saw you at a book sign. You're having a book sign down in D.C.
Right.
A lot of people that listen know I'm in D.C. once a week, and you just happen to be there that day that I was there. Traveling to promote your book. How is that going? I mean, because you're from Philadelphia, right? You live here in Philadelphia,
right?
And you, like I said, you just happen to cross paths that day. How's that going for you?
I mean, right now it's actually going pretty well. Compared to the first one, I have to do that. Compared to the first one, it's leaps and bounds over the amount of promotion I'm able to do.
The first book,
over the first book, yes.
Okay.
The interesting part is, though, the Maryland, D.C., Virginia area, from what it seems, is the only area that was really showing me some love.
Oh,
so,
really?
I just keep going down there. They want to keep having me at different events and things like that. So it was actually really good that I caught up with you at that book signing because I'm just like, wow, is anybody from Philly?
Right.
Are you from Philly?
I'm from Philly.
Okay.
I'm Philly.
Born and raised here.
Born and raised in Philly.
Okay.
So I was going around just trying to push it out there. Of course, it's not all peaches and roses and everything. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it's still. I'm definitely trying to push it out there.
And you're basically doing everything yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everything's on me, on my shoulders. I set up the appointments. I make the phone calls. I go to the. I'm everything.
Right.
So,
and
one man band.
Doing a hell of a job at it, if I might add.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And he was able to keep his. We made this date maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
And you were able to keep this date, and we appreciate that here because sometimes things happen and things get shifted around, but you were able to keep that up with us. And for the listeners, so they know, you can check out our Ustream. We got Evan on the Ustream right now.
Say hi to the Ustreamers.
Hey, how y'all doing out there?
we got Evan's wife in here and Hector Intern both in here taking pictures, all over the place. So if you're hearing cameras flashing, that's what you're hearing right there. Shout out to everybody.
Hollywood.
That's Hector Intern right there. So the book itself, when it's too late to tell.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about it. I read the preview,
right,
and I'm like, all
intrigued.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I'm like,
you hear him?
Why don't you put like 3 more pages in here for me or something? You know what I'm saying? I want give me some
That was
more.
the whole point.
Exactly.
So
That's the point.
Miss West, I'm asking him.
I'm just saying.
Well, all right. Well, when it's too late to tell, basically, it's about 4 characters: Mark, Craig, Jade, and Berta. They're all Christians. Except Craig. Craig at the beginning is a guy who once believed in God. Once held strong to his faith, was a youth minister, and some things happened to him where he just said, all right, I'm done with this, I'm done with God, I give up. And he's living his life then as a successful businessman, though. So in the world, he's very successful. Right. So a lot of his journey includes his one-on-one with God or lack thereof.
Right.
But it just takes these 4 characters and it puts them on a journey, dealing with, like I said, faith and relationships, having faith in God, having faith in yourself, having faith in the ability of that other person to notice who you are truly.
Right. Okay.
And the first 2 people, Mark and Jade, they're married, and things happen to them that makes basically almost, to a certain extent, I can't tell you but so much, but destroys their marriage.
Okay.
And everybody holds this one issue, this main issue from the past, and that's where initially where the title comes from. I mean, it's called When It's Too Late to Tell, but when you think to tell is to inform somebody. I'm gonna tell you this, or it's to perceive. I can't tell whether that's this or that.
Okay.
So it both parts of to tell come into play into this story.
Okay.
So,
Now,
wordplay.
the yeah, ill wordplay right there. Now the characters of Mark and Craig, they know each other.
Yeah,
do all 4 of your subjects in this, do they all know each other? Or?
They all know each other. Actually, Mark and Craig grew up together, so they homeboys sitting on the stoop back in the day.
Right.
Of course, Craig would know Jade because that's who Mark married.
Okay.
Berta is Craig's assistant at his job. He's a his big time financial planner.
Right.
So they all know each other in different ways. I'm trying to think. As time goes on, those relationships change initially. I mean, of course, if you have a marriage and things start going a little haywire with it and all that, then that's going to change the whole how it's looked at and how they look at it.
Right.
They came at marriage with a different perspective than what they probably should have. And when those issues from the past come up, causes some trouble.
Evan, you mentioned their religions. Do their religions play a role in the book?
No, I was just turning you back up a little bit from the mic, so
a
little muffled on it.
Yeah, this is a different one. I just was saying, do their religions play a role in the book?
Well, it plays a major role in the book. It actually plays a major role in all my writing, because me being a Christian man, I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm not afraid to say it. I'll continue to say it. I'm just not going to push it on everybody as if they want to hear it over and over again.
Right.
But I will let them know, as almost in terms of I'll be the example. But it definitely is in this writing. They're all Christians, but they all deal with some real situations. I think sometimes when Christians go through things, they cover it up a little too much. And we go to church and do this hoop and holler and all that fun stuff, and that's all fine. And it's always good to praise God, but there's some real issues going on. I want to tackle those real issues.
Right.
So with each story that I'm putting out there, it's going to be tackling some real issues, like issues like pastors molesting little kids, real issues like adultery, real issues like there's plenty of them. Abuse
tons
of any
that
any
go
type.
on right there in the church.
Exactly.
Do you deal with those issues like a separate issue from your religion, or like do you deal with it through your religion?
I actually both ways. Because I understand that not everybody. Well, I know not everybody's a Christian. I know that not everybody wants to be talked to as if I'm the pastor and I'm the preacher and they're just a regular churchgoer. I come to people with a realistic point of view.
Right.
And at the same time, if you need that spiritual counseling, so to speak,
right,
I'm there for that as well.
Sounds good.
It's perfect because I think people take a better. They'll change more so for the better if they have a good example of what you're speaking of, or good scenarios to show. Okay, say if this were to happen, which way you're going to go? Right. Common sense is going to set in. It's not a spiritual or religious thing. This is
because they just go to God.
Do. Right.
I'm going to God. Exactly. I got a flat tire. You got a spare in your trunk. Man.
Fix the tire. Exactly. Right.
God's busy with that.
Right. Sometimes people tend to overlook the obvious, overlook the most common common sense thing that's sitting there right in front of them. And it's like, I know y'all heard this before about the guy who's stranded in the ocean. He's stranded in the ocean, and he's praying to God for help and everything. And a boat comes by and it passes by him. And he's like, no, I'm gonna wait on the Lord. And then
wait on the Lord to do what? Come down
to save him
and make a raft.
Yeah,
that's what the Lord was doing.
I'm lost. Exactly. He's in a boat.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's. I mean, you don't recognize, your blessing. What you asked for, he gave it to you. You just have. It's all about recognition.
Right.
Yeah, people get stuck in what their expectations are, and then close out everything else. And they not only do they close everything else out, they close everybody else out. Right.
I've seen so many friendships, relationships, marriage break apart because they're just so in tune with their own spirituality, and everything is so to God be the glory. And I mean,
when there's some real stuff going on,
right. And no, but don't get me wrong, to God be the glory.
Exactly.
But you have to temper that.